Socks are annoying me right now because there's two of them. Like, ugh. And I need to knit them at the same time. That's what needs to happen. Just, one sock in each hand. Hey knitters, welcome to episode 234 of the Knitty McPurly podcast. I'm your host, Devin AT. You can find me online at KnittyMcPurly.com. I'm Knitty McPurly on Instagram, and if you want to email me, I'm Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome all the new people. I have gotten many comments and emails from new people who have found me recently. If you would, please subscribe to the channel. It's also great if you leave a comment because it lets YouTube know that you're engaging with the video and that you like it, and it recommends it to new people. So that is awesome. We have had a brief respite from the heat here in Virginia. It's like 68 degrees right now. So you might notice that I am wearing my crisscross top. Got it finished. Yeah, it's a whole story. I'll tell that in just a minute. But I actually had this on by itself. And then I was like, I'm a little too cold. I think I need a shirt under it. So that's been really nice. It's not Satan's butt crack right now. Just like a little teaser for fall, because I know it's not fall. I know it's going to get hot again. It's August 2nd. So I know that's going to happen, but for now it is really nice and it really makes me want to knit. Feeling the cooler weather, it's every year. It just galvanizes my knitting and I just love it. I am drinking today out of my much dripped Tennessee mug. Hello out there to all of my Tennessee knitters. Tennessee is one of my most podcast watched states. There's a lot of podcast watchers in Tennessee and Ohio. I feel like those are my two big states. So enjoying some coffee out of my Tennessee mug this morning. And let me just tell you real quick about my crisscross top. Okay, Gigi tells me that this is cool right here. So I've got my trendy jeans on, my trendy jeans that make it look like I'm like 3 months pregnant all the time. What's up with that? I don't know, but they're trendy. They're cool. So I had both sides untucked and Gigi's like, Mom, untuck just one side. Like, that's totally cool right now. I'm like, okay, sounds good. So it's really cool. I really like this top. Now, I did shorten this because I didn't want the armholes to be too big. And that kind of brought the neckline up a little too far. I feel like for it to be, I think it looks good as a vest, but for it to be a standalone shirt, the neckline needs to come down a little bit. But I did completely rip it back like I talked about last time. Where was I last week? I can't even remember where I was. But I pretty much worked on this. This is going to be my Knitty McPurly summer knit along finish because it's the only thing I'm going to get done before August 15th. Like, how did these 2 months go by so fast? There's only 2 weeks left of the summer knit along. I do already have some entries. There's Instagram entries. People have been emailing me with hashtag KMPSummerCal in the subject line. So I do have many entries. On August 15th, I will be drawing 3 winners and you will be getting a $50 Knitty McPurly gift card if you are a winner. Again, not a million people enter this, so you really have a good chance of winning. I got an email recently from a knitter who won the last one. She was one of the winners, and she was like, it was like I had this treasure in my pocket. And she was like, I kept, going back thinking, what do I want to get? She said, and then you had the sale, and it was just so exciting. And it's just great. Like, I know that feeling, that gift card feeling where you're like, yay! It's just a little fun thing in our regular life. So I've talked a lot. I have a lot to say, I guess. Anyway, I'm really happy with how this came out. I do like it more as a vest than as a standalone top because it's a little, it just came up a little bit too high, but whatever. It's all fine. Let's move on to progress and shop news. There are openings in the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. Today is the 2nd of the month, and at noon Eastern time, which I have a feeling I'll be getting this podcast up before that, but if you're watching it later, there will be a few openings that are up right now, not right now, today at noon, and you can go get those whenever you are ready. Just a little brief reminder, we are working through Summer Lee's The Sock Project book, and the knitters have been having so much fun. I don't use Facebook almost at all, but I will get on periodically just to see how the league is doing and see all their pictures and see all their comments. And, there was one pattern that was hard to follow, I think. And so a knitter like drew how she understood it and posted a picture of that on graph paper, and just stuff like that happens on the Facebook group. So that's really nice. If you're not a Facebooker, you don't have to use the group, or you can go in as an anonymous user. I just saw that. Or you can be like me and just don't have any friends. I've told people, I'm like, you can try to friend me, but I will not be anyone's friend on Facebook. I'll be friends in real life, but not Facebook. I just can't do it. It's just too much for me. We've talked about this before. Anyway, openings will go up today at noon. There is a little bit more balm. Where did my balm go? Someone stole it. It's been stolen. The balm is always in high demand. In fact, I had a knitter tell me that she always puts it on bug bites. And the other day, Charlotte was complaining about a bug bite. Like it hurt and it itched and it was just really bothering her. And I was like, well, let's try the balm. Put some of the balm on there. No more complaints. The complaining ceased instantly. The balm just has really good stuff in it. It's hand balm for knitters. I'm sold out of the 2-ounce tins, but I still have some of the sticks left. And this is Summer Citronelle, which is a very lemony, delightful scent for human beings, but not so much for mosquitoes, which is what I was thinking. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't ever want to have bug bites. Bug bites are the worst. And I like to knit outside. Maybe today would be a good day for that because it is 68 degrees, at least right now. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. It'll probably warm up, but in the humidity, who knows? Anyway, I am going to be using my hand balm for knitters in either the Summer Citronelle or the one I did last summer, which was called The Porch. That one was a little bit different. It wasn't so much citronella. It was more geranium and other things that bugs don't like, but all good. Good stuff. Olive oil, lanolin, shea butter. It's got good stuff in it, and it's healing, and it's good for apparently bug bites. It repels them, and it's good for their bites. So it's just like good all around. Anyway, okay. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot, and I want your opinion. So if you have an opinion and you want to weigh in, please leave me a comment. You could also email me if you want to. The League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters is just for 2025. So if you have subscribed to that, that'll end in December and you'll be unsubscribed. That product will go away. It'll be all done. Next year, I want to do more clubs. So I have to have enough volume to justify the club. Like I need to have a certain number of people who are interested in the club in order for me to do it and for it to work. I know you guys are interested in the blanket club. Definitely going to do that because there is so much overwhelming interest. For that club, I'm thinking worsted weight yarn, 5 20-gram minis every month, and the colors could be kind of seasonal or, that could for the course of the year all kind of complement each other, but would be kind of unique to that month. And that was what I was thinking. For that, you could pick any blanket pattern that you wanted. For the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters, I've been all over the place because I just want to give you guys what you want. I have thought about doing 12 more patterns from this book, thought about using one of Charlotte Stone's books. I've thought about doing some combination of those two books. Are there enough people who want to do another year of the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters? If there are enough people, if there's enough interest, we'll definitely do it again. And let me know, would you like to do more Summer Lee? Do you want to do Charlotte Stone? Do you want to do even you could even pick your own pattern, but then the yarn would be a little different because the yarn would not directly correspond. So let me know what you think about that. Now, I also have another idea because I just can't stop thinking of these great ideas. What about a year of hats? Suddenly I'm super into hats. I just keep thinking about them. I walk almost every day. And in the wintertime, that means I need a warm hat almost every day. So I want to make more hats, and hats are great. Where was I recently? I can't remember, but I was somewhere where I needed a mindless small project and I didn't have one. I had just finished this, and all I had was my Vivian tee, which is all cables that I just need to give some of my attention to. And I was like, gosh, I don't have anything. And I know I could have a sock. Socks are annoying me right now because there's 2 of them. Like, oh, and I need to knit them at the same time. That's what needs to happen. Just, one sock in each hand. That's what has to happen. But I've been thinking a lot about hats, and I want to do a year of hats, and I want to do it with my Virginia Woolen Spun, which is the yarn line that's going to come out later this year, this fall. I love the idea of a year of hats. I'm going to be doing the Virginia Woolen Spun in 4 weights. We're going to have fingering weight, DK, worsted, and bulky. And that gives us so many hat options. So let me know, are you interested? Do we know enough people who would be interested in one or more than one of these clubs monthly? They would all be about the same price point, around the $36-ish, depending. That feels like probably where they will all land. Let me know what you think. But just let me tell you a little bit more about this Virginia Woolen Spun, because I've been thinking a lot about it. Like I said, it's 100% American wool, American Virginia cotton, spun here in Virginia. 50% wool, Rambouillet wool, 50% local cotton. It's amazing. I'm so excited about it. I love the 50-50 cotton wool because you get all the benefits of the wool. It's lofty, it's warm, especially as a woolen spun. And it has that give in it that cotton by itself doesn't have. Cotton by itself can hurt your hands. At least that's my experience. I almost never knit with cotton by itself. Plus it's a little crunchy. But when you mix it with wool, you get the benefits of the wool plus the benefits of the cotton in that it is cooler. Even in the winter, I am rarely cold enough that I want to just layer up with wool. I do, and I am sometimes, but I just get hot. I run hot, and as a result, I need more cotton in my life. So that's going to be great. I can't wait. It's so exciting. Okay. I finished this up. I ripped it all back. I reknit it to get this. I showed this last week because this right here is the most important part of the sweater. It has to look like that. And I had it flipped around just from not reading carefully. Now, I also made a mistake on the top because either there's a mistake in the pattern, but there probably isn't. Probably I just read it wrong. I did the decreases here instead of here. And I thought, well, we'll see how it looks. And I think it's fine. I'm totally fine with it. The only thing what I would do is I would knit it higher. I don't know. This needs to be longer. The V needs to be deeper without the armholes being bigger because I like the size of the armholes, but I wanted the V to go a little deeper. But whatever. I really like it. I think it looks really good, especially with a shirt under it. Turned out great. 5 stars, would recommend. It's worsted weight. This color is called Dusty. It's one of my most popular colors. It's like a rose gold. It's so pretty. Very, very happy with it. Okay. Topic of the week. I apologize because weeks ago, I said we were going to talk about styling shawls and then I just kept forgetting about it. So let's style some shawls, shall we? I don't wear a lot of shawls and I don't have a ton of shawl shapes. So I will have to work with what I have. I'll say that one of my favorite shapes to style is the triangle shawl. Now, this is one that began as an Andrea Mowry pattern. I forget which one, the one that starts like that, and then I riffed. But it's a great size because you just can wear it like that. I think this is great. I love this with a dress. Easy. Doesn't take any time. It's not hard to do. Sometimes I'll bring the 2 ends around the front and pin them. although the shawl can still adjust, as you're wearing it. This is my Noah shawl, which is an unusual shape. This is a gigantic shawl that has this chevron shape, but it also has this right here. Now, the cool thing about this is that you end up with this little rectangle with these two ends. And if you like a giant shawl, like a blanket shawl, hopefully that's not messing with the microphone, it might be, you can wear it like that with the tassels. I think the tassels or like, what's it called? A pom-pom would look really nice there. But that is an easy shawl to style. All right, what is this? This is Lettere, I believe. Gaudete? I don't even remember what this one's called. This was one from a Lent calendar that I did. Again, it's a triangle. You can tell I love the triangle shape because it's so easy. I don't know how helpful that was because I have given away all of my other shawls. People would just be like, I love that shawl. And I'd be like, would you like it? Because I just don't wear shawls that much. So I don't know how helpful that was. There are lots of other shawl shapes, and I just don't own any of those. All right, the comments section. Janet, hi Janet. She says, hello from Swansea, Illinois. Janet comments every single week. Thank you so much for that comment, Janet. I really appreciate it. She says, I have been to that yarn store in Paducah, Kentucky. I used to live only an hour away, and that's where my knitting friends would meet on Thursday night to knit. I now live in Swansea, Illinois, and went to the Summer's Last Blast yarn crawl today, and I now have a new place to meet some knitting friends. That is great. I love that. It's so nice when you have that nearby. That is just great. Karen Red Baron says, I'm sorry you're having a frustrating time with knitting, but I appreciate that you're working through it and going so far as to podcast anyway. Obviously, a lot of us enjoy this place. I completely agree that knit as established is so much easier than having to wonder if I'm supposed to be doing something different. I agree. Like you should just say work in pattern. Although, maybe for a new knitter who's like following along each thing, I feel like a designer would feel like this is more specific, but it is like, well, gosh, do I have to like read that? Do I have to give it that level of attention? Karen says, sometimes when I have an egregious error, I just pull the yarn off the needles and set it aside. Then I start with a fresh skein. And that way, by the time I need that first ball of yarn and I have to rip it out, I've already made progress past that point and can feel good about it. That is a great little mind trick. I love that idea. That's totally not what I did with this. But again, because it was worsted weight and it's not a difficult pattern, I really didn't mind that much. I just remembered that I wanted to talk to you about my Vivian tea, and I forgot. So I am just joining under the arms, and I dropped some stitches here. See, in my cabling, I just messed it up, and I have to go back. So it's in timeout right now. It's in timeout because I just have to go back and carefully, meticulously, painstakingly unknit and reknit a few stitches to make sure that the cables and everything is in the right place. And that's annoying. So it's just going to sit there for a little bit. Wand M32 says, I took advantage of your summer sale and ordered a flutterbutt kit. I was thinking of using the yarn to make the cumulus blouse, but seeing how cute your flutterbutt looks on you really made me rethink my choice. I think either of those would be a great choice because they're both blank canvas patterns, just very basic patterns because the yarn is slub and it's speckled. The yarn is the showstopper with the flutterbutt kit yarn. So picking any basic pattern I think will look great. Julie, hi Julie of the Knitty Cats podcast says, my new balm came today and it's amazing. Not sure if you changed the recipe, but it was extra moisturizing. I did not change the recipe, Julie. It is the same. The only change I ever made to the recipe was like 2 years ago when I added lanolin. and that was a game changer. The lanolin is amazing. Rachel says, I'm still dying that you said the butt crack of Satan. I'll definitely be using that one down here in Tennessee. Yes. Now, Rachel also is a lover of Boston Terriers, and she very tragically lost her dog, I think his name was Tucker, recently, and she got a new puppy. So I am like stalking Rachel's Instagram for any pictures of her new puppy. I got, like, if my phone comes up and it'll say, Rachel just posted. I'm like, oh my gosh, is it a puppy picture? Puppies. Oklahoma, Texas Sheep Lady says, I made a new discovery. Fiber Christmas in July at the Creek County Fairgrounds in Kennyville, Oklahoma, is the last weekend in July each year. The fibers and people were fabulous. I hope to see some of the Knitty folks there next year. I hope you do. How will we identify ourselves? I don't know. State mugs, pins, Murdog pins, Murdogs. Lori says, darn, I forgot to add a lip balm to my cart when I placed my order this week. I was so excited about the sale that I spaced. Next time, I still have a few different scents of balm, and I do think that the Porch, which was last year's bug repellent balm, does repel bugs. However, I don't use it too often because unfortunately it also repels my husband. Now that I say it, some days that's not really a bad thing. I get it. I totally get it. I think the Porch is a beautiful smell. It does. I'm trying to remember what was in it. It's geranium and just a few other, it's flowery. Maybe it's too floral for men. I don't know. All right. Knitting fantasies. I have 3 picks for you today. There's a bonus pick in there. The first one is a sweater that I came across last night called the Dirty Caramel Sweater by Veronica Lindberg, who is European. Not sure where she is from, but the pattern is in English, so maybe Britain's not on the euro, is it? They still have their own currency. I don't know. Maybe she just decided only to publish it in English. This is a beautiful colorwork sweater. She has held a fingering weight with a mohair to get a halo, but it is a DK. So you could do some in DK, some colors DK, like the main color DK, and then some of the others you could hold a fingering with a mohair, and that'd be great for scraps. I love that for scraps, especially because there's a bunch of colors in the sweater. It has 6 sizes, and it comes in a 32 to 46 inch bust. So it is for most human beings, although it is not size inclusive in the modern sense. Costs €6.90, €6.90. I don't know how you say that, which is about $8 in the US. My second pick is the Let's Boogie cardigan. This one was published a few years ago. It comes in 9 sizes. It's Aran weight, but I think she has held yarn together to get an Aran weight because this also has a halo. Super modern. I love the shape of it. I love the texture. I really like how there's no button band. I looked at the projects and some people did pick up a button band, which I didn't think added to the design. Maybe they wanted it to close or they, wanted to be able to button it. But in my humble opinion, I really like it as is. This pattern is $8. Okay, now hats. I recently bought, and by recently I mean last night, I bought Andrea Mowry's Traveler hat. This pattern is written for either a worsted weight or a fingering weight. You can do either one. But I just thought it was really cool. I like these new shapes that hats are taking these days. Have you seen the Capital One commercial with Samuel L. Jackson where he's wearing a white hat? It's like a knitted hat. And he's got it. My husband laughs at me because I watch commercials. Like I love marketing and I think it's really interesting. I like to see what commercials do to try to get you to buy the product. I think that's interesting. But the hat is sitting above his ears and he is a bald man. So I get, you would want the hat just to keep your head warm. But I'm like, wouldn't you put it over your ears? Anyway, it's kind of pulled up in kind of an Andrea Mowry shape. This is new for hats, as far as I know. Hats were slouchy for a while, and then they were fitted, but this kind of pointy shape is something kind of new. I kind of like it. So the one that I just bought, the traveler hat, has kind of a pyramid shape where it comes up in 4 separate parts and has a little top knot at the top. I just thought it was really cool. It has that traveler design, and then it goes into, it looks like a 2x2 rib. I haven't really looked at the pattern. And then you fold it up. I just think it looks really pretty. Andrea's hats all look beautiful. She used Woolen Spun Brooklyn tweed yarn for her hats. If you go and you look at the projects, very few of those hats look good. Or maybe it's just that the photography is not great. You know, it's just somebody's quick cell phone picture of their finished product. It's not like a beautiful picture like Andrea took where she's trying to sell the hat. So, you know, you get some grace for that. But I do think a Woolen Spun yarn, something with some loft and structure, would be great for this pattern. But that's not even one of my picks. That's just the hat that I bought last night. My third pick is the Plumped Up Harlow by Andrea Mowry. And this is just the Harlow hat, which is a brioche hat pattern in bulky. I knit the original Harlow back in the day, and I didn't love the finished product, but I think it was my yarn choice. I used what was essentially like a sock yarn because the original pattern is written for fingering weight. So I used a merino nylon, and it just didn't have that loft, heft, structure that the Woolen Spun hats that Andrea made did. Now this one, this Plumped Up one, she used Spin Cycle, which I know that she likes to use, which is a very pricey yarn. It's real pretty and fabulous, but it is very pricey. Anyway, I think this hat is beautiful. It comes in 3 sizes. The medium size is like what most people's head is, like 22 to 23 inches around. And then there's like one that's a little bit smaller than that and one that's a little bit bigger. So no baby sizes for this hat, but it does come in lots of sizes. All right, moving right along to So Here's What Happened. If you have a knitting story and you would like to share it on the podcast, please send it to me. You can email it to Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Devin with an I. Anything that's happened to you in your knitting life with knitting friends and projects and mishaps and things that are funny and tragic and terrible and wonderful. Send those to me so that we can share them here on our oral tradition. I actually had somebody suggest that we put all the stories together in a book. Wouldn't that be cool? That would just be a fun book. It'd be like a chicken soup for the soul type of book. Today's story comes to us from B, who is a longtime crocheter, newer knitter, and has had some great success. So here's B. She says, this story begins with a lifelong love of crochet. I learned to crochet from a women's magazine when I was 8 years old. That's pretty good. If you can learn from pictures, that's pretty epic. I have never been able to do that. Fast forward to 2022, my husband and I took a road trip to, and she says VT, which if you live in Virginia, VT is Virginia Tech, but I think she probably means Vermont. We live in central North Carolina, so it was quite a lot of driving. Upon entering the state, we stopped at the visitor center to refresh, stretch, and inform ourselves about local happenings. Well, I saw the magazine pictured here. So I knew I had to go and see Green Mountain Spinnery. They had so much colorful yarn. Well, I did go. And as I looked through the pattern book, I couldn't find any crochet patterns. I had tried knitting before, but I could never get those darn needles to work together. Reluctantly, I asked the lady who was helping me, knitting isn't that hard, right? She helped me select 2 skeins of yarn, 2 circular needles, and the book. It took me until February to pick up the book and needles. No, I get that. That's real. Some things have to sit there and you need to interact with them while they sit there until you're ready to pick them up and go with it. I slowly learned English knitting. A lovely lady working at a shop in Southern Pines, North Carolina, suggested that I may like continental. She found that a lot of crocheters prefer that. Switching to continental really sped up my knitting. I was able to knit a hat from the book, And thanks to all the knitters, shop owners, and YouTube influencers I have met or watched, I can call myself a knitter. My Audrey top is also shown here. And look at this. She did such a good job. It looks amazing. And this color and this yarn look just beautiful. Great job, Bee. That is awesome. Sometimes we're pushed into a new craft by circumstance like that, where you fall in love with something and you just have to make it. Yesterday, my daughters and I went to Michael's, which I don't normally go to Michael's. I prefer Hobby Lobby. I like to go to Hobby Lobby, but Charlotte wanted to make slime, and she said that Michael's had good glue prices, which they didn't. They were not better than Walmart, but whatever. She wanted the clear glue, and the clear glue was cheaper at Michael's. Anyway, while Charlotte was looking at the slime supplies, Gigi and I were looking at all the books, and there were so many amazing crochet, amigurumi, like kawaii, just really cute little toys that you could crochet. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I could clone myself, I would clone a whole Devin just to crochet all of those cute animals and cute fun toys. That would be amazing. I would absolutely love to spend all of my time doing that. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new, please subscribe. Please tell a friend, invite friends to join in on the clubs next year. I have big dreams. All I need, like, if you build it, they will come. And that absolutely happened this year with the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. They have absolutely come. But I want to triple it next year. And I don't know, are there enough of you out there who are interested in a monthly club? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week. Bye, knitters.